Hello there and welcome back. And in this reading, I received a download from the spirit, and they told me that there is something about reset. Reset in life, reset in your friendships, relationships. I feel like in this, although this is a timeless reading, but I'm feeling the full moon energy, the full moon Aquarius energy, which means being able to harvest breakthroughs, being able to harvest something that excites you, a new idea, an innovation, something that hasn't been done before. And there's also a message about cleansing and clearing. And the number 5. I don't know if that resonates with you, but this is what I see in my mind's eye right now, like 5. And that's what I also saw when I was eating lunch today, and I saw like 5 in different combinations. So although I've been resisting myself in from filming this reading, but I'm really being pulled to tell you and say something about reset. So let's see what we have in here. What kind of reset are we actually talking about? Oopsie. This is so wrong. Anyway. Oh, okay. It's a bit chaotic here. So what kind of reset? I feel like, because I feel right now like there's like some tense. I feel tensed, okay, with this. Really. So I feel tensed in, like, I feel like there's something about like breakthrough, like this feeling of anticipation, feeling of there's something coming, there's something energy or some premonition of something big that is about to come. So that's how I feel right now, like some breakthrough, because when you speak of Aquarian energy, Aquarian breakthrough, we are, since it's like we're talking about innovation. Okay, so we'll expect, like, for example, in today's time, we are at the Aquarian age. Okay, so since we are at the Aquarian age, we expect breakthroughs. So that's why we have AIs and, like computers, chips, and we have our phones. We have computers in our hands right now. So this is how you can see the power of the Aquarian breakthrough. Okay, so when it comes to innovation and technological advancements, so when it comes to relationships, it could also, it's something that hasn't been done before. Okay, so in whatever in whatever shape and form it is. Okay, so for example, like the concept of LGBTQ, humanitarian, being philanthropist, being world, like the new world, the new earth, building a better world than how it is when we arrived. Something about community. These are Aquarian ideals, okay? So it's like the spirit of Uranus. And when we're talking about the the governor, Uranus, who governs Aquarius, it's about like your community being able to bring something like peace, okay? Like world peace, real peace, and then bring everyone up. It's not like Capricorn, because the sign before Aquarius is Capricorn, okay? So Capricorn is about hierarchy. So you have CEO, you have the president, vice president, secretary, down to your fingerlings. So this is Capricornian concept. So when we talk about Aquarian ideals, this is like equal. We become equal. Okay. So let's see. And before that, we officially, it's been 5 minutes and it's, yeah, so we'll officially open the reading. So it's quite interesting to note that, like, these days I'm feeling that, how should I say? Because in my previous Substack article, by the way, if you like to know more about my work, you can go to my website newsletter, mgaspari.substack.com, and you will see my reflections, my readings, and all my work, everything that I do with my life. Everything that I do with my life as a writer, as an author, as a publisher, and all. And as an intuitive person, this is where you can visit. Okay. And yeah, where was I? Yeah, like in my when the message when I received the message a few days ago, it was like I was resisting the, like, it took me days. Yes, it took me days before I could even sit here and talk to you and tell you the message, because it's really like, in my Substack article, like, I wrote about 2025 hangover, and I wrote there where, like, when everyone is already racing or building the momentum of 2026, I'm still here trying to patch up things from the remaining, season of 2025. And I feel like in 2026, the official new year, is really spring, so like March. Okay. And which means that from January, February, and March, and until March, I expect myself not really in full optimal condition, you could say. So that's why, like, I have my lapses, I have my, like, I'm not filming all the time in regular schedules, and I'm also considering the fact that I'm also pregnant, and I can't really just stress myself up just for the sake of deadlines. And that's what I also I'm healing from, like, from the toxic Capricornian upbringing, which means, like, discipline is just pure discipline without fun, discipline without fun, discipline, work without play, like, just work, 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 and just work, because for the sake of it, for the sake of routine, for the sake of achieving a progress, or just making yourself feel good, although your body is burning out. So something like this. So I feel like that's the reset that we are, like, what the spirit is trying to lead us. Okay, like, we normalize the fact that we just work, 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 and just keep working, although our body is screaming for rest and pause and all. And although it's like February, it's a love month, it's like much more like, instead of enjoying the love month in a way where we feel loved, we feel that we love ourselves, like, we celebrate things because we love ourselves, we do it for the sake of hierarchy, for the sake of ego, for the sake of soothing ourselves. So there's this kind of reset that is being relayed here. So it doesn't matter if it's about career, it's really about all facets of your life. Like, you're being called to reset. And if that's why I feel like, then, like, that's why I feel this energy of, like, okay, just pause and respect the value of work and play and fun and discipline, like, you respect the the divine polarity, the holy dichotomy. So there's always work, there's always fun, and you can't just be working and discipline, Although it's admirable to do that, but if you don't have the play and the fun elements in it, then what are you what are you doing then? I mean, what for? If it's not for yourself, or if it's not for your happiness, if it's not for your, it's not about being egoic and selfish, like, just for me and my pleasure. It's like the balance of it. Like, you sure give yourself effort. You give. That's why you work. Or you give. You work because you want to give. So that's the concept of it. But what do you get in return aside from the money? Diba? So reset. Gemini, 12th house, and Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter. Jupiter. There, Jupiter. So Jupiter and 12th house, and then we have Gemini. Yep. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Please bear with me and my voice. Yeah, that's why, like, I don't know, like, please bear with me with my voice, because it's been like a challenging days for me. Like, when you resist something that's being pulled for you to do. So now I'm trying to pull myself up, and like, I'm still in the middle. To tell you honestly, if I were honest with you, I'm still in the middle of, you could see it in my face, like, I'm just recovering. I'm in the middle of, I'm in the middle of pregnancy, and I'm in like last trimester, you could say. And it's like, okay, I'm doing this for fun, I'm doing this for play, although there's some seriousness in it. I'm not just doing readings for the sake of it. This is a pool, and when it comes to the pool, I take it seriously, but I don't take it way too seriously, that, okay, well, as soon as I get the download, for example, I do it or whatever, without really considering my health, how I really feel that day, that moment when I receive the download. Or should I do something? Should I film it? Should I just note it, just for the sake of, okay, I will remember, and all that. So that's what I like. And that's, where's the 12th house? Yeah. And this is what this the dice is talking. 12th house. Okay, 12th house talks about like your unconscious beliefs, why you do what you do, why. And sometimes it can be really sneaky, when it to the point, like, you're just, the more self-awareness you give and offer and gift to yourself, the more you realize how much of the unconscious beliefs have been playing out in your life. You will realize how much you have operated from a low vibration, or you have operated from a trauma most of your life. Okay. And when I see the 12th house and Gemini, this is like, you unconsciously, there's something about communication, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Okay. And this is the governor of the third house. Okay, Gemini. So when we say about, when we talk about Gemini, they love to talk. Okay, so it's like, they love information, they love spontaneity, they love being a child, because these are the children of the zodiac, like, together with Aries and Pisces. Okay, with other elements. So in the element of air, Gemini is the baby. Gemini is the talkative communicator, and there is like element of play. Like I said, like, life is not just about work, discipline, and like, just Like, ah, they say grit your teeth. You grit your teeth. So it's just, you know. Like, w- I grew up that way. Okay, I grew up that way, and I feel like you're growing up in the same way, similar way. Not really exactly how it is for me, but I grew up with two Capricornian parents, okay? And I have a strong Saturn in my placement, so I can understand where this hardcore, extreme, hardworking personal person, individual I can be. Because, like, when it comes to Saturn, Capricorn, it's about work, deadlines, and being able to perform a job because you need, like, you work hard. That's why you earn more. You work hard to earn more. But then in this message, this is like, is simply because you choose to work so hard, you miss the point. You miss the, you miss the, to look around you. Like, you're focused so much on your destination that you forget to look around. What's going on around you? You forget to see, or you miss to see the beauty around you. What is going on around you? Because all you have in mind is your goal, your end goal. This is my end goal. But then you forget the process, to enjoy the process. Okay? Which the Gemini energy is calling you to do. To pull yourself away a bit and add play and childish. It doesn't have to be really childish, like, like, for sure, like in my case, if you're wondering, like, how do you even manage to do a bunch of things alone? Well, in my case, I add fun and play. Otherwise, I wouldn't have survived it. Okay? I wouldn't be pleased to publish each book. Okay? I would be looking at this book with angst. Like, when I look at my books, I like to hold it like, oh my god, I wrote this. I wrote this book, and every time I open the pages, like, I could remember each day adding fun and play in my process. So each page, like, whenever I open each page, it doesn't have to feel like, oh, I remember how starved I was, or oh, I remember how, like, it, your work, your art doesn't have to sound like, should I say, like, I know, like, this is like your, for example, okay, like, this is your medium of expression. You don't want your work to be just, like, the expression of pure angst, pure anger. You want to see your work from a distance with respect. Although it came from your pain, it came from your anxiety and your hidden or suppressed emotions that you want to reveal to everyone around you, because that's the only thing, the best thing that you can do to express yourself. Doesn't have to be like, once it's done, it doesn't have to be like something that it will create more angst, it will create more pain to you. You want to release it with love, right? You want to release your work with, like, wow, I did it. Just like how I felt when I finished this book and have it in my hand. Like, wow, this was just an idea. And after 3 years, wow, it's there. And I want you to feel the same. right? Like if you want to pursue something that is out of, because we're talking about Aquarian breakthrough here, so something that you haven't done before. So you want to hold your work, for example, painting. Let's say this is a painting. You want to hold that painting, you want to display that painting and look at it with grace, with proud face and grace, respect. Because this is your way to communicate your feelings, your world, to the people who don't understand you at all. And this is your space, so let that space be a sacred thing, a sacred space, even if it's just mental space for now, okay? Like let's say you're still stuck in the 9 to 5 and you don't know really what to do with your life and all. Just chill and acknowledge that you're there. So in this mental space, you don't want to add more of that saltiness of your external world. You want to protect your inner space. You want to protect your mental space. You want to make it holy, make it sacred. Make your work sacred enough that you feel proud and relieved, even in the midst, even when during the process you had a hard time for sure. In the process you cried, you it was tormenting for you, but at the end of the process, at the end of all this, you see your work with pride. Okay? You want to see your work from the eyes of the beholder, that it will create some bittersweet memories within you. Bitter because you had to go through the pain again, but sweet because it inspires people. It calls people in. It draws people in and know who you are. Who you are. Not because your parents told you so that you're this, or not because your ninong and ninang tells you that this is you, or your teachers or whoever, even your own religion or whatever it is. Like like cut that role. I mean, form one moment. Who are you? Who are you? Okay. And that's what this unconscious Gemini is trying to say, because it's unconscious. Gemini wants to talk. Okay, Gemini wants to talk. These are talkatives, the talkatives. So that's why if you have Gemini, you're a good sales, marketing, marketer, you're a good journalist because it's public speaking and all. Really good. But this is unconscious, so it's like hidden. So there's something that you like to communicate with the rest of the world, but it's hidden. And having Jupiter here, it's like this is your way to expand. Although this is unconscious for now, because this is hidden, 12th house, this is hidden. This is like a wish. This is like something like a mystery. People don't know this about you. People don't know that you have this side of you. And people don't really know that this exists within you. And then and also at the same time, on this other side of the coin, you also know that this is your way to expand. Because Jupiter, when you have Jupiter here, the energy is about expansive. How can you grow? So this is the ruler of the 10th house. So the 10th house is about mental exploration. How can you expand? How can you, for example, education? You want to expand your education. You want to expand your knowledge and philosophy. You want to expand your learning. You want to expand your knowledge. You want to expand your expertise. You want to expand your spirit. You want to expand your friendships. You want to, I mean, it's about being able to expand. That's the challenge. The thing is about Jupiter is it's a challenge. Okay. But it's not like Saturn or Capricorn, the Saturn, where it limits you. Okay. So where, for example, if you have Saturn here, Like your communication or your ability to talk is diminished. Okay, but we have Jupiter here, so that means you're called to expand. Okay, so your communication, the way you communicate your feelings, the way you communicate your thoughts, I don't know what it is that you want to communicate, but it's in the 12th house, so that means it's hidden, it's mysterious. Your mode of, if this is about your art, or if this is something like a horizon, like a career change, a shift of thinking, mindset, because Mercury rules the mind. Okay, so aside from communication, Mercury rules the mind. Air sign is about the mental. So mental, it means like your information, communication, words, like authors, writers, journalism, mental. Gemini, so this is like about your, sales marketing, blah 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 blah, your blah 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 blah, your blah blah blah. What's your blah blah blah? Ooh, you touch my blah blah blah. What's your blah blah blah, and how can you expand as a person, as a living soul, as an artist, as a, I don't know, like as a person, as a career person, I don't know, like how can you expand using your blah blah blah? Okay, so in my case, I use my blah 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 in written form, so I could blah 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 with a lot of people without being interrupted. Okay, this is my best blah 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 way. This is my best blah 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 method of blah 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 to blah 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 to people who don't care and wants to interrupt my blah blah blah. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Okay. So I know it's kind of weird to say it that way, but yeah, that's how it's kind of appearing to me. Like reset, reset. How does it even, like, reset? Like, talk to your higher self once and for all. Like, whatever you do right now, just sit down and listen. Okay? Just pause if you have your mind, because Mercury is the ruler of the mind. And if it's toxic, it has a lot of blah 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 in the mind. Blah 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 in the mind, where you can't think anymore, or you lose, because the other side of Gemini is distractions. You can't focus. You keep jumping from one place to the other. You keep starting project, you can't finish. You say something that you don't mean. Okay? You do something you don't understand why. You you do things out of impulse, because these are the children of the air signs. Okay? So this is like being, just jumping, like you're just going here and there, with no direct point, no, just air, you know, air. So it's just there, like you say something you don't mean. You do something you don't even know why and what for. Or if this is about relationships, you just fuck around for fun, you know. You you just play around with women or men or whatever, like you just play around without really thinking of the seriousness of it. You don't think of the consequences of it, of what you're doing. Or something like about like distractions. Instead of focusing on one goal or something that you really love to do or want to do, even if you have a job or so, instead of, okay, after my work, I will go home, and then, okay, I'll spend 1 2 hours for this art, so for the rest of my life. And even if you don't do anything with it, at least there's some creative channel, creative outlet that you have available at your disposal. So in any time that you feel pissed at work, you have something that you can blow off, vent out, you know. And that's the reason why there's so many people, especially if you're like people who have been working with a 9 to 5 and masters of capitalism, masters of living in the capitalist world, like at the end of the day, they don't have any creative outlets. And that's the reason why at the end of the day, they have supplements. Okay. They have so much going on inside them that they don't have any form of release. So even if you have a job, it's not an excuse that you can pursue your art just because you have a job. I did that. I wrote my books while I was still writing my business life. I was still working with businessmen and all, and I still have managed to write my, at that time, Wattpad and all. I still managed to, although it's not really like complete, or many of them were unfinished, and I'm still trying to finish them. Like I'm still trying to figure out, like, okay, how can I survive? Like, how can I make these stories in my dusty shelves, like, to fruition. But it's not like I just keep jumping from one place to the other just for the sake of fulfilling that, for a goal. I want to have fun with it. I want to have fun with life. And that's the same wish that I have for you. Like, I wish that you will have a fun life. Okay? See, we have 4, 4, 4, and 3. This is so angelic. I've been seeing fours lately. Okay? And 4 is Saturn. And 3 is the Holy Trinity. Okay? Balance of body, mind, and spirit. Like I said. Okay? So, even if you think in your toxic Capricornian, even if you're not a Capricorn or so, even if you don't have a strong Capricorn or Saturn placements in your chart, or even if you don't have a Capricorn parents or whatever, but the point is the Capricorn energy. Okay? The Capricorn energy is about work, 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 and just work without play. But now the spirit is telling us that we have to focus too on the the Trinity. Okay? The body, mind, and spirit. Okay? Your mind can be at race because you have a lot of blah blah blah. Okay? Because it's so inspired or whatever. And your spirit is so high because, yeah, you have a lot of, like, you're so inspired and driven to do this. Yeah. But your body, are you ready? Does your body really feel ready to do it? Like I said from the beginning of this reading, like in my article 2025 Hangover, if you like to check it out, the links are in the description. So I said and mentioned that even though I see people racing up for the rest of 2026 and are ready and propelling themselves forward for the rest of the year, I still feel the remains of 2025 and I respect it. And I feel like this is the same message to you too, that despite the goals that you have big fiery goals for this year, you're trying to build a momentum for yourself this year because you're so inspired. You found yourself or whatever it is because you have a lot of blah 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 in your mind. You also have to remember that you're a human being and that body belongs to that soul and that soul belongs to that body. So that means that even if you have a strong energy, like, to propel yourself forward mentally and spiritually, physically, consider your physical body. You don't want to burn yourself out. You don't want yourself to be suffering physically for the sake of a goal, for the sake of a progress, for the sake of making yourself feel good, even if resting is holy. Even if like, you don't have to do a lot, even at the cost of your body. If it, like, if, how should I say? I'm kind of lost. Like, You don't, like, success doesn't have to be toxic, okay? Your success, in whatever shape and form it is for you, your success doesn't have to come with cardiac arrests, hypertension, and whatever, Like, you want to build a successful life that brings joy to you spiritually, excuse me, and something that brings you, not just you, but everyone around it, because this is about Aquarius. So even if you watch this video in whatever zodiac sign it is or whatever sign it is, this is a timeless message. And whenever and wherever you find this message, this video, this message is for you. Okay, and even if you don't have a strong Capricorn, you Uranus or Mercury or Gemini in your placement, the point here is your energy and the energy that is being relayed here when it comes to the message. So I know that we haven't been taking any tarot card, but this is a message that I have for you, and maybe next time we will have a tarot session. But for this reading, I am pulled to just talk and say, what is this spoiling? Like, what energy is this? And I hope this message resonates with you, and I wish you a nice day. And before you leave, I like to invite you to the website mgaspari.substack.com to learn more about me and what I do. And please get a copy of my latest queer romance, Strokes of Desire #1, which is available across bookstores worldwide, both in ebook and print. Okay, so that's how you can support me a as an independent publisher. Okay, so what else, Spirit? No? Okay, so that will be it for today, and I hope that you will find your means of communicating your potential, your thoughts and feelings in whatever means and form it could be. And I hope that you will find that as your way to expand as a person, as a living soul, as a holy person, because all of us are holy. Every soul is holy, and we consider that even when we're alive, holy. Okay, and I hope, like, yeah, I hope that you will find yourself, and accept yourself, love yourself, and yeah, I love you, and take care of yourself, and see you in the next one. Cheers.